Alright, so today we're going to try to figure out what's going on with my hot tub. It was making this knocking sound, kind of like a knock, 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 knock. Actually, now I don't hear anything. Oh, that's not good. Alright, so I have no power. The hot tub is actually dead, which makes me believe the circuit breaker tripped. But I also have this weird black, doesn't look like mold, looks like soot or something. Not really sure what that is. But the water's still warm. Outside temperature is a little above freezing, so I really don't want to have this water freeze. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this back up and make a game plan. So this is a Master Spas Twilight Series 8.25. It was made around 2011. So in hot tub years, I guess it's getting pretty old, but I keep up with it for the most part. It's been running really well until about 3 or 4 days ago when I heard that knocking sound. So I think my game plan is going to be to go over to the circuit breaker, see if that's tripped, which it most likely is. If it's tripped, I'm thinking it may be a circulation motor based on the knocking and the tripping of the circuit. So we'll check the circuit breaker, we'll check inside, we'll take this panel off here, get inside there and see what's going on. So indeed the circuit breaker is tripped. Every time I flip it up it just flips back down. So there is a problem. Again, I'm thinking it's the circulation pump. So let's get that side panel off and we'll go from there. And to get the side panel off, just got to remove these little nuts, screws. They just screw in. Take off these little covers. There's screws behind there, so I'll take those off. And then should be able to pull the whole cover off. So here we go. Now that the cover's off, got to get rid of these black panels. These just help protect everything on the inside. So I'll get these black panels off. Alright, so the covers are off. I got access to the inside. I should mention before I did any of this, I did confirm that all power is off. So there's no power going to this. Don't have to worry about getting electrocuted. So I'll take you in, show you a closer look at what I'm looking at. This is the cover for the brains of the hot tub. So I'll get that cover off in a second. Just 2 screws holding the top in. And on the side here is the pump. And I think that's where my problems are coming in at. So we'll get that looked at. And holy mesage, we've got a lot of mice living in here, it looks like. They made tunnels and everything, so do I kick them out or let them stay? I don't know. I used to have a feral cat that lived on the property, and I never saw a mouse. But that feral cat has since passed, and well, here we are. Anyway, I'm going to get the cover off of this, and I'm going to do a quick test, see if it is in fact the circulation pump. If it is the circulation pump, I'm going to have to go ahead and replace it. Okay, here we go. So here's a look at the inside of the box. This is the heating element down here, and then this is the inside. This is the central control computer. And I don't see anything necessarily wrong in here. I don't see any water or anything like that. So I'm still going to go with the guess that it is the circulation pump, which really sucks because that would be my 3rd circulation pump in 2 years. So what I'm going to do is a test real quick. This is the line that runs in for the circulation pump. I'm going to go ahead and pop that out. 2 tabs on either end. I'm going to push those, get those out, and get the circulation pump disconnected. Alright, so there's 2 clips on either end. I was able to pull this out. I had to just do it off camera because 1, it's cold. My fingers are killing me because they're frozen. And it was hard to get these clips pressed down. to get this out while on camera. But the circulation pump is disconnected. I'm going to flip on the circuit breaker and see if I get power to the hot tub. Alright, see how it stayed up? It didn't trip back down right away. If it wasn't the circulation pump and it was something else causing the trip, that switch would have went down right away, but it's staying up. So I'm going to turn this off so I can go ahead and replace the circulation pump yet again. So Master Spa in their design has these valves. They shut the water flow, so I can take out these little clips here and then I can go ahead and shut the valve so no water leaks out, or if it does, it won't be that much. There's two. There's one on this side here, and there's one just above the actual circulation pump here. So we'll go ahead and get those closed off. And again, it'll just minimize the water loss. Alright, so I got a pair of oil filter pliers, and these do the trick here. Just help me get off this fitting up top, so I can work to remove the existing pump. It's a lot better having those valves closed. If those valves weren't closed, be a lot more water. Alright, so the pump is out. The good news is that the water is flowing. It's not frozen. We've had some pretty cold temperatures, and what my big fear was is that the pipes, the water in the pipes, that was going to freeze, and that's definitely not what I wanted to have happen. So luckily I'm in good shape. I do have water leaking out even though that valve is closed, so I gotta move a little quicker here, get the new pump put in. So here's the new pump. It's the exact same as the one that just blew out. Don't really have a lot of options when it comes to circulation pumps. You pretty much only have this style here. And again, if anyone knows anything about hot tubs and can tell me why these circulation pumps keep blowing out, I'd really appreciate your help. Now the only other thing I need to do is this white fitting that's right here. I got to take this white fitting off, and I do have to put it onto the new pump. So I'll do that real quick off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll throw this new one in. Alright, so we're going to do the reverse operation and get this new pump installed. Alright, so that's hooked up with a wire fed through where this retaining clip goes. So just go ahead and put that in real fast so I don't forget to do it later. Definitely don't want to over tighten this, just get it snug Yes, I am using a way overpowered drill, but that's okay. Alright, so I got the new pump installed. I did actually take this back off and I put some thread wrap on, pipe wrap, whatever the hell you call this stuff, just to seal up. It was leaking a little bit, so I just wanted to make sure that was good and tight, not leaking anything. When putting these pumps on, you can't forget about this little grounding screw that's in the back, so you gotta make sure that that is installed and tight. Alright, so now that the pump is installed, I will take off these stoppers here, let the water flow again. Alright, so I'm back over at the breaker box, gonna flip the switch back on and see what happens. Oh, and the switch stayed up. So I'm gonna let this go for a minute. What I think I'm gonna do is just clear off my mess from the top of the cover here. Actually, I can hear water running through, so that's a good thing. It tells me the system's priming. So I'll open up the cover and just make sure I'm getting the right readouts on the digitals, the little display there. Also too, just real quick, I went ahead and put the cover back on the computer, the wiring, the electric, because I don't want to have an open cover with the electric on and with, quite frankly, a lot of water around. Rain today, there's water from the hot tub. Yeah, I looked up on Google real fast and looks like this black stuff is possibly mold, which is not good. So my next project is going to have to be to empty out this hot tub and to put in some fresh water. That fast, I started getting black mold. So that's not good. And I really do keep up with this thing. Just maybe that's how fast this kind of stuff happens. But either way, I'll drain the hot tub over the weekend. I'll clean the insides with some white vinegar and then fill it up with some fresh water. Make sure the filters are clean, all that. But back to the task at hand, I can see water is flowing through the jets here. Got a nice leaf at the bottom. You can also see on the display, it's going through the normal startup. PR was the first thing that showed. Now it's showing Fahrenheit. And the jets actually should kick on in a second. And this priming just helps get all the air, anything out of the lines that may have got in when I changed over this pump. I'll certainly listen for an airlock situation. Usually the priming does a decent job of preventing that. Alright, so the pump's just kicked on. It's going to blast any remaining air out of the system, and it's going to run for a little bit. So while this is running, I'm going to take the opportunity to put everything back together. Put the black panels on first, put on the main side panels, and then the little edge trim pieces. Get this back together, and then see where we're at. Alright, so I got everything back together. The side panels are back on. I'll put the stairs back in a second, and I have a little storage box that I'll put back. But on the inside of the hot tub, yeah, definitely from sitting for 2-3 days, it's not looking the best. So I will clean this over the weekend. I'm not doing it tonight. It's starting to get late, starting to get dark. I'm just going to make sure that the water is above the filter level, that I'm not sucking in any air, which no, little foam in there, but no, the water is still above the filters, so that's fine for now. I did a test strip on the water. It looks like the pH may be a little off, maybe a little high. And also too, I need to add some bromine, so I'll go ahead and do that. Maybe that'll help kill some of this algae, but either way, it's got to be drained and refilled. So good project for this weekend. Very happy with this cover that I have. The cover is nice and thick, and it did hold in the heat to the hot tub, so very happy about that. With it being down for 3 days in 30-degree outside temperatures, not sure if you can see this, but the hot tub is still reading 89 degrees. So that's really good to know. My guess, 2-3 days, no power. The water never got really below 89 degrees. So I wasn't at risk of any pipes freezing or bursting. But I still wanted to make sure I got this done right away and didn't want to sit on it. Now again, these pumps are not cheap. This is my third one in 2 years. I would like to know why these keep blowing out. So I'm going to take this one apart maybe. See if I can look in there, see what's going on. I do keep up with the pH level, so I don't know. I'm pretty confident that it wouldn't be a pH corrosion type issue. I don't see anything in there Just looking at a quick look, I don't see anything. And this hot tub is silent. Circulation pump is working beautifully. Alright, so that's going to about do it. Hot tub's working. I'm happy. I'm going to cover this thing up. It's cold out here. I have to cook dinner. But if you have any questions, or if I can help you answer anything, if I didn't show something that you want to see, let me know. Put them down there in the comments. Be happy to help you out. And that's going to be about it. But just remember, get out there, do something. Don't just sit inside. Get outside. Do something. Fix a hot tub. Either way, have a good one. So a little bonus footage here. I started taking apart this pump, and I think it'll show up on camera, but I'm getting a ton of metal flake coming out of this thing. So obviously something was rubbing. I'm going to try to take this down a little further and see what I can find, but that's disappointing. And looking at this a little further, I found out that this is really just a strong magnet that holds this in. So you take out the, say, propeller piece, and it seems to spin freely upon closer look. So it looks like all the outside casing here was just working itself away. Again, if anyone knows anything about these pumps, please let me know. Let me know where I'm going wrong. Tired of spending the money. Alright, thanks. Have a good one.